Mm-hmm. All right. Let me get these things wiped off a bit. Maybe I can see where I'm going. All right. Well, hello there, good people. Hi, it's Jason here, Green Country Agri-Forestry. Wednesday night, time for another live stream. Mary got me these things. These are like some, they got little pads on the bottom. You can wear them around the house to keep your feet warm. She says they're for sleeping in. They're also nice for lounging in, as it turns out. Oh, let me get these things put on here. We are midway through December. December, what is today? The 13th. Midway through December, and still got stuff growing in the garden out there. We're not in the tropics. It's kind of different, I guess, having a whole bunch of veggies growing in the middle of the winter. I'm not used to it. Usually, I just let the garden come to an end at the end of the summer. Let everything die down, and that's about it. This year, I decided to do things a little bit differently. I'd experiment with fall gardening, getting something started other than just garlic, because I start garlic towards the end of the year. Good evening, Sats Press. Hi. I think you're the only one that saw us. I didn't announce that we were having the live stream until the last minute. Mary called me up earlier and said, "Are you going live today?" I said, probably. I think so. Most likely. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. Come on and say hi. Hi. Talk about, I don't know, whatever you guys want to talk about, really. I don't have much going on at all right now. It's it's just it's just radishes mainly out there. Radishes and garlic and onions. And everything else is not growing. Mary got us a whole bunch, and I don't have them nearby the desk right now, but she got us like a whole pound bag of a whole pound bag of cabbage, and these are like not the pak choy, but like Chinese cabbages. They're the smaller ones, are like the tall cylindrical cabbage, like Napa cabbage, I guess is what they're called. They're she got those, but they came in just a little bit too late to plant them. They might grow, but they probably won't produce at all. So we're holding them on until next year, and then next year, as the weather breaks, we'll plant those in addition to everything else, and we should have some nice little winter cabbages, which will be fun. Sasbra says, let's talk about how to turn turf to gardens. All right. It's great. It's easy. It's fun. In this modern era, you get everything delivered to your door, right? Oh, yeah. Some program that you can go and log into, some company that you can order things from that will ship stuff directly to your door. It could be all kinds of stuff. It could be plants, it could be trees, it could be seeds, it could be tools, it could be who knows what, but all kinds of stuff that you can get for your garden can be ordered online, not necessarily from this company, but a whole bunch of them. But they all come in these sorts of things, these great big things. This cardboard stuff that comes in. And it's a great resource because you're going to have to find something in the world to do with all this cardboard that comes in whenever you have your online shopping addiction. So what you do with your cardboard is you grab that stuff and you rip all of that packing tape off of the plastic stuff. I know it's a chore, but if you don't, you're going to have to deal with it later. I found bits of tape when I felt it was not necessary for me to pull the tape off of cardboard boxes. I found tape years later, still there in the soil. I pulled it out. I was like, is that the tape? That's the tape. So go ahead and pull that stuff off of there because you're going to have to dispose of it anyway. And then lay it out about 2 or 3 layers thick so you don't have any joints exposed. So all of the places where all the joints where the cardboard comes together, everywhere you've got these bits. See these joints here. Everywhere those come together, make sure you've got at least another layer completely covering that up, so you don't have spots where where the little grasses can come up through there. And you can throw down newspapers too. Newspapers are good. Lay all of that out. Lay your cardboard out. Get it soaked. You're going to want to soak this as you're going, because if you don't soak it, the wind's going to pick it up and blow it away really quick. Wind may pick it up and blow it away really quick, even if you do soak it. Soak your cardboard down as you go. Stack a whole bunch of wood chips, mulch, whatever you've got, leaf litter that you can put on top of that, and pile it up deep, 2 or 3 inches deeper if you've got more. Preferably, if you're doing wood chips, go for about a foot is good. Stack that in deep. Now you're going to want to come in and plant something. You can't just have nothing but cardboard mulch. Use sheet mulch. This is good. You're going to suppress the grass, kills the grass off, and start that process of turning your lawn into a garden. After you've had that sitting there for about, say 3 weeks or so, most of your grass and the grass roots will have died off down at the bottom of that. You can start pulling the mulch back to expose the cardboard. Knock a hole through the cardboard, dig down there a little bit, fluff your soil up, add a little bit of compost or bagged soil if you have to resort to using bagged soil, and plant whatever you want to in there. The mulch is going to keep the weeds from popping up. It's going to hold in moisture. It'll be good for your garden. Now, the first year that you do this, it's not going to be fantastic. Matter of fact, it's going to be a little less than fantastic because, well, chances are there's problems with your soil that have never been corrected before, and most of the time we try to deal with that with fertilizers and stuff like that. We're not going to use fertilizers this time. We're just going to try to build the soil biome so that it can take care of the problem. Like I said, first year, not going to be great. People get discouraged after year 1 because they see the results and go, wow, I thought this was going to be this wonderful, abundant garden that's going to be super hyper productive, and it's not better than what we've been doing with fertilizers and tillage and everything else. So they quickly give it up and they go back to the fertilizer and they go back to the tillage. And you're not going to see amazing, wonderful, oh my goodness, this is picture perfect results in the first year or in the second year even. Probably around year 3 or 4 is whenever you start seeing things, whenever you realize that, hey, wait a minute, I am actually starting to get really nice produce, really nice results from the garden. I'm seeing these things, and we haven't been using the fertilizer. Things are starting to turn around. Things are starting to look like they say they're supposed to. But it doesn't happen overnight. And it certainly doesn't happen overnight if you're working with tired, worn out, depleted soils, or if you're working with soil that's left over from the construction of your home. You know, the stuff that they use for building houses, the clay that they use is not necessarily particularly good clay for your substrate for gardening. It's stuff that was no good for anything else. So they took it, they brought it in, and they packed it down to lay out your foundation for your house. So you can have a bunch of that stuff around. Construction grade clay, not really great for gardening, but it's going to be there and you're going to have to deal with it. Adding extra organic matter, adding lots of extra organic matter is a good first step. Most of the time, whenever they get done with this project, after they've put down all of that heavy clay that they're going to put down to establish a nice firm foundation that they're going to establish for you, they come back over the top of that and put down a layer of sod. They grow this stuff not too far away from the old Conrad farms, from the old farm place on the Arkansas River. It's I guess it's like the house we lived at wasn't a house; it was a trailer. When I was just a baby, right? Was next door to this sod farm, and the sod farm's still there to this day. They're still growing sod. Every year the river floods. Every year they get more organic matter brought in, laid down by the river flooding, and every year they come out and they plant grass seed, and they've been doing it for decades and decades and decades. They're not building any soil up there, obviously, because they cut the sod up, the roots and everything up right there. But they lay the seed out, they grow the grass, they get it nice and lush, and it looks perfect for going into a golf course. They then they cut it up, roll it up into rolls, load it up on the truck, and send it to whoever needs to have grass for their construction project. They roll that stuff out, water it in, and there you go. But you still have all that construction clay, and there's, like I said, just maybe a quarter inch or so of soil organic matter with the grassroots itself that's with that sod, and that's it. That's all they got. And then anything else you're going to have there is going to be built up from that point. It's kind of hard to build up from that point because these European grasses are not really deep rooted. They're not really designed to get down deep into the subsoil and bring minerals up. It's not how they grew up. So they require extra watering. They don't mine for minerals, and they're not good for soil building. Here we go. But that's what we have most of the places. It's that manufactured lawn that doesn't have a good soil base underneath it at all. So really, whenever we're working around residential areas, we're starting at a deficit. If you were out there in the wilderness, just walked into some undeveloped place and went, well, okay, yeah, the soil's not great, but it's what we have. You would be far better than starting out with a residential lot. Of course, you got other things to worry about too in residential areas. You don't know what all was used in the construction whenever the house was built. You could have a bunch of landfill materials that you're dealing with. You just don't really know. Generally, though, you start working at it, go around, collect organic matter. If you're in the city, you got people that want to throw away their leaves or throw away their grass clippings. That's the free stuff. Go get it. You mentioned something before about if you have the time, inclination, or ability to do so, you can always get free organic matter by offering a service of cleaning out the culverts and the gutters. You know, those pipes that run underneath the driveways, and you get through in there and you pull all that stuff out. And most of it is leaves, it's mud, sludge, organic material that can be taken, composted the rest of the way, and then brought in and added to your garden area. People want to get rid of this stuff. They throw it away. They bag up their leaves, they put it on the curb, or they hire somebody to come by and vacuum their leaves up for them or rake them up. Although nowadays they've got vacuums that do it. It's really quick. And that stuff just goes to waste. Other sources of organic matter. Dumpsters. The dumpster by the grocery store. You can use that stuff for feed for backyard livestock, but you can also use it to feed your compost piles, worm bins, that sort of thing. Anytime you've got tree trimming going on, the power companies come by. They hire people to go by and trim back the trees. They run them through a wood chipper, and they've got to do something with the chips. Talk to these guys. Go, hey, instead of paying somebody to dispose of those, bring them by here, drop them off. I'll buy you a 6-pack, and you can get chips that way too. But organic matter is everything that you need. It's convenient whenever you live near a municipal area that there are trees that need to be trimmed, because that produces a large quantity of organic matter that you can get through the waste stream. If you don't live in an area where there's a large quantity of organic matter entering the waste stream, either refuse from grocery food operations, farm operations. You can always check out breweries and distilleries for spent product there as well. If you don't have these things, then you have to create them yourself, and that's kind of the fun, exciting, adventurous. What's the word we're looking for? Challenging. That's the word we're looking for. You have to find things that produce that organic matter that you're looking for. You have to find things that are going to grow fast to produce the carboniferous material that you're needing. Let's see. Bamboo is a good choice. Bamboo is great. Sudan grass has been used quite effectively in several applications. Of course, once again, remember what we talked about previously. You can't just cut this stuff and let it dry and oxidize. You have to pile it deep, you have to keep it sheltered, and you have to keep it moist so the conversion process can take place, so it can decompose instead of oxidizing. And then that works into your soil. Hello there, saying, have you tried aquaponics? It's aquaponics, no H. With the H, it becomes aquaphonics, and that's different. I've done some kinda a little aquaculture, not aquaponics, but more aquaculture with fish and plants. So instead of mixing the chemicals and the nutrients and timing and spraying them on the roots of the plants in a system, or using a crack key or something like that, having the plants so their roots can access. And you have to be selective with the plants here too, because some plants don't really want to be wet all the time. It's the reason why they have sprayers and misters in aquaponic systems, so they can get aeration to the roots and water to the roots and nutrients to the roots all in succession. But some plants are fine with having wet feet, and so those we put in there and let those grow, and that works pretty well. We've done water chestnuts, lots of mint, and a few other things. Sweet potato vines. I overwinter sweet potato vines, and then take them and replant them in the spring, and just use that indoor setup with the fish inside. I used like a 20 or 30 gallon tote filled with water and what do you call them? Guppies. trying to think of the fish that we had in there. And we had a bunch of guppies, live bears in there, duckweed on the top, and azolla. Set over there, and one of the few places where we can actually get light during the winter, where it comes through the window. So this tub is sitting here, and the light keeps the duckweed and the azolla growing on the surface. That feeds the guppies. The guppies then create their waste. The bacteria that we inoculated the water with convert that into nitrite, then nitrate, and that feeds the other aquatic plants that we had worked into the system. So essentially, we created a system. It wasn't really thinking in terms of, I want to make a system that is going to be able to grow plants. It was more along the lines, I want to create a system that's going to be able to keep the fish maintained without additional inputs from us. And it did. It kept them going. I didn't have to feed them at all, except whenever I wanted to see the fish. Like, okay, we're going to move some of the duckweed out of the way so we can see, and take a couple sprinkles and put them in there, and get a kind of an idea of how many fish were in there. Because although they regularly ate the daphnia and the plant matter in there, the duckweed, they really like fish flakes. So you push the duckweed out of the way, put some fish flakes on there, and then you'll have to see how many of those guppies are in there. And the population was well maintained. We had maybe 20 or 30 of them in that tank, by about 1 per gallon on the average, and that's kind of how it stayed. There were places for the babies to hide to an extent, but there were enough babies that got eaten that the population didn't overtake the tub. Small fish are fortunately somewhat self-regulating, but we would have had issues if algae buildup had been a problem. But the sides of the tote were black, so no light comes through to stimulate algae growth there. The only place the light's hitting is the surface. That's where the azolla and duckweed is. So as long as you've got enough floating aquatic plants, free-floating aquatic plants to take care of most of your light load coming in this way, then you're not going to get a lot of algae growth. But we did try putting some shrimp in there. About $50 for 10 shrimp. I did it twice, so $100 on shrimp, and we don't have any shrimp. They didn't make it through, so we're going to have to maybe try the freshwater shrimp again. I don't know. I might one of these days make a trip down to Texas and snag some from Jack. head down there and attend one of his uh, one of his workshops just to have an opportunity to snag some shrimp and bring them back. It's like I don't really need the information. I already know all this stuff. It's cool to hang out, but really, what I want to do is bum some shrimp from you. Hmm. Hello there. Says have some brim in the catchment, and they do good. I figured it'd be cool to try aquaponics. Well, yeah, um, it's good. But if we're talking about fish in an outdoor catchment, right, in a pond, pet catchments and swales, then you're busy making fertilizer out there. So whenever you use that catchment for irrigation, you're going to do both fertilizing and irrigation at the same time. It's having fish in there is kind of a necessity. You have to, because if you don't have fish in there, then you're going to have mosquito problems. You don't want mosquito problems. So the fish are in there for the maintenance of that body of water. If you're going to have fish in there to maintain the body of water, then yeah, you may as well have fish in there that you can use for other purposes, whether that's growing fish for the pet market. I mean, there are people that grow exotic fish and sell exotic fish, or growing growing fish for the purposes of eating. And brim or perch or all of those are not necessarily what people look for food, but hey, big bream is worth eating too. A little bony sometimes. Depends. I've gotten them big. I've gotten them, plate size, really big. Around 700 gallons would be about double the size of a standard IBC. I think a standard IBC is about 350, maybe 300. I don't know. Mary? No, Mary's not home. Why am I looking over here and asking? I heard noises in the kitchen. It's like, oh, never mind. That's Kimber doing dishes. Let's go to ask her. Hey, Mary, what's the capacity of the standard IBC? She probably knows it. She probably has it memorized off the top of her head. Oh, she's here. I am losing my mind. Hi, Mary. Yeah, the IBC, your standard beverage container. The kind that have the corn syrup and the other stuff. Enjoyed you putting pee in the barrel, huh? That was fun. That one, how to make fertilizer whenever you don't have anything to make fertilizer with. Okay, so IB sizes. Here we go. See, I figured she'd know this. Anywhere from 110 to 550 gallons, with 275 330 being the most common. There you go. There you go. So whenever he's talking about having fish in a tote, typically that's what somebody's talking about. Is since they're used to transport liquids for food service purposes, they're safe. They're not. There's nothing toxic in there that's going to be harmful to fish. You have to wash them out really good. But once you've got that, they're perfect for small scale aquaponic setups. Hello, Bird says I like the pea barrel too. Yeah, really, that video is intended to give people a way to generate fertilizer whenever you don't really have any other means. I keep on getting. I mean, even to this day, people say, "Well, you can use chicken manure, you can use cow manure, you can use all kinds of manure to harvest for nitrates." Yeah, I know you can, but people who live in the middle of the city don't necessarily have that sort of a resource. And here where we are, we're just fortunate that wood chips are relatively easy to come by because the city has a disposal facility that allows us to pick it up. Otherwise, you're back to collecting leaves and using the leaves for your carbon for fertilizer production, home scale fertilizer production. And people say, well, you can still buy the fertilizer, you can still get nitrate, all that stuff. Here in the United States, it's true, you can at the moment, not a problem. I can buy nitrate as much as I want in bulk if I want. I can have it delivered by the semi truckload, dropped off, and most likely no questions asked. Although I don't need that much. I don't need a semi truck for a backyard garden. A semi truckload of nitrate for a backyard garden. About the amount of nitrate that's produced by one adult human is enough for a backyard garden. So there you go. It works out fairly well. We're just not used to recapturing that portion of our waste stream and utilizing it in that way. However, since bagged fertilizer, since the chemically produced and available to buy at the Home and Garden Center fertilizer is made by synthesizing CH4 or natural gas into into urea, then ammonia, and then nitrate. That's the process. Whenever we have situations that arise that make it difficult to get natural gas in large quantities, or whenever you have the producers that want to stockpile that material that they're making for the season, or they have contracted to sell it to someone else, then shortages can happen. Should shortages happen, knowing how to make your own fertilizer just might come in handy. Just might come in handy. Better advice is to get out of the city as soon as you possibly can and start working on developing, well, some kind of a country lifestyle for yourself where you can draw the resources that you need to live from the land around you. And you're not living on top of other human beings that don't have the resources to support themselves either. Because that's what a city is. It's just this like a big feedlot where everything has to be packed in. Hello there is taken off because the battery is gone on the phone. Don't you hate it when that happens? Oy. Where's my phone? Oh, there we go. I got one of these. The battery lasts quite a good while. It's got about half a battery left, so it's probably good for another 2 or 3 days. Lori's World is waving and saying hello to Jason and Mary. Hi, Lori. What y'all doing? Huh? Ezra's doing biscuits. I'll bet. Ezra's a big kitty. He's about 20 pounds or so. Yeah, bring him on over. He's a big kitty. You guys want to see a big kitty? He's a big kitty.
And for clarification, he's not part Maine Coon.
He is not part Maine Coon. He's just big. Yeah, hi. Hi. This is Ezra. He's a big kitty.
He's about 3 years old.
Big kitty. Yeah, he's a dog-sized house cat. And we had a question about, can you use ammonia? Yeah, you can use ammonia. You can use ammonia. You can use urea. It's all yeah. You can use both. Just make sure you've got enough soil, enough source of your geobacter to make that conversion available in the bucket. If you're using wood chips or crushed leaves, there should be enough there. If you're using straw, there might be enough there. Probably. He's huge. Huge. You just don't want to save the pea. Well, you don't have to save it. You just pour it on a daily basis. The only reason we were saving it is because Mary's a truck driver and you can't always go to the bathroom. And so like she had it in jugs, like, hey, instead of dumping the jug out somewhere on the side of the road, You dump it out here. We can actually use it to make fertilizer. But yeah. Someday you may not have the option. So just yeah, we don't eat everything that we grow. A lot of things we grow and we sell it so that other people can grow it, so on and so forth. But we could. We don't always eat all of our corn, but we could. We actually probably wanted to grow more corn if we were going to start relying upon the corn that we grow for food. We try to eat most of our pumpkins. We still have too many pumpkins. Oh, talking about Ezra Kimber is just yeah, he gets grumpy. He's discovered that I will allow him to come in and curl up at the foot of the bed at night. Although sometimes he doesn't want to crawl up the foot of the bed, he wants to come up to up around my head, or crawl on top of me. He's done that before. But I wake up in the middle of the night and there's a cat sitting on top of me, a 20-pound cat. Face is like right here, right here. I wake up with this cat. Wake up this cat and eyeball to eyeball. Like, oh hi, how you doing?
I warned you if you would do that. You didn't listen.
Which is fine, it's fine. But then whenever I go to get up, he gets grumpy because he was comfortable and it was nice and warm, and now I'm disturbing and he's just like hissing at me. Like, what do you no, you're gonna have to cope, buddy. It's 4:00 in the morning. It's time for me to get up. Oh, Sasser says all those jugs on the side of the road are just there so someone can go out and make fertilizer. Yeah, or because somebody didn't feel like emptying it out. Oh my goodness. Typically they empty it out in the parking lot at the truck stops. And that's why they call the pilot truck stop the P lot. I kid you not. I kid you not. Did you ever wonder why the truck stop smells that way? That's why. Because there really aren't facilities around for drivers to empty it out at. It's just you accumulate jugs full of the stuff, and then you have to empty it out somewhere. And it's either a rest stop, or a truck stop, or something like that. So there you go. Sassafras sits in a pumpkin peanut butter coconut milk curry soup. I don't know. I don't know. We don't have any coconut. It doesn't grow around here. Mary said a portable John, an outhouse. Yeah, whenever you can get in, there's not a line. Whenever there's not somebody that walked in there, closed the door, and is just spending the entire day not working, hanging out in the outhouse, as they do. Jasper says the coconut's not necessary. That's a good thing because we don't have any. Let's see. Heterodox popped in, said hi. Hi. Oh my goodness. So I don't know if I'm gonna put. I'm gonna put. I'll get them. I'll get them on video here. The next thing that we shoot. I've got chores to do. Mary's been griping at me. I have a pickup truck full of wood chips that need to be processed, and we've got an offer to pick up a new range, new gas range stove for the kitchen, which I guess would be okay. We haven't had a functioning stove in the kitchen for a while. I mean, it's got the stove top, but we haven't had an oven. We've been doing we've been doing our baking in the air fryer, the big glass bowl convection oven, which is it's It's kind of convenient whenever you need to go cook an extra turkey for Thanksgiving and you're going out and visiting people for Thanksgiving, but it's not convenient to do all of your baking in, especially if you like, you know, doing pizzas. I like pizzas. I like getting the somewhat cheap rising crust, right? Not bargain basement cardboard crust cheap, but the still good but lower end rising crust pizzas, right? In the frozen ones, and then they never put enough of the toppings on, which is why you can get them for cheap. Is they don't put enough toppings on them, but you can get all the toppings separately. Get some extra marinara sauce. I take that mixed up, add a little bit extra garlic and oregano because they don't have enough seasoning in it. Add extra sauce, add extra mozzarella, add extra olives, add extra pepper. You get all the extra toppings you want, right? We start out with the basic pizza. Pop that in the oven. Do maybe 2 of them, 3 of them, depending upon how many kids you got over, and then pizza party for like $10 a pop. You do 3 or 4 pizzas, 20-30 bucks, and all the kids are happy. Haven't done that in a while because, well, the kids moved out. Some of them moved back, but the oven quit working, and we have not had a functioning oven to do to do pizzas in for a while. And I can do one at a time in our wood oven outside, the Acorn, and that's cool, but it's just not the same. And they don't turn out really well in the air fryer. For one, it's not big enough to do the big ones that I like, and the smaller ones just they never come out quite right in the air fryer either. Mary's like, pizza oven, duh. One day we will have an outdoor kitchen and it will have a brick oven. But not today. Not today. We got other things we got to get done first. That's where I'm think about planting a walnut with currants under it. Be nice. Brian says frozen pizzas. That's bachelor food. A little. It's a little bachelorette. Oh, Kimber's playing DDO, but she's got to play by herself. Which character are you playing?
I'm not playing any right now.
Oh, you can't because you've been hijacked.
And I've got dishes to do, but I'm waiting for your live to be done. So
oh, I see. So you're trying to say I should just get off right now so that you can get on with the rest of your day. Is that it?
No. Finish out your YouTube live like you normally would. I am trying to be respectful.
Ah. Saspress says he found a fast fruiting walnut. How quickly? How quickly does it get up and make nuts? Because that's always the problem with walnuts, especially the Carpathian or English walnuts. They take a long time to get to maturity. If you got like a fast fruiting walnut, that's cool. But how fast? Where's the latest catalog? We're always getting stuff. We had one. I don't know what it was. Burpee. Was that latest catalog Burpee? I don't recall. Shoot. Anyway, I'm looking around for the catalog and Mary's moved it. Oh, speaking of Mary doing stuff, Mary got these. So I guess we're gonna fill these and send these out. Have you guys seen these before? Yeah. This odd habit that people have this time of year. They take these pieces of cardboard that have little designs on them. All right, 3 to 5 years. Okay, 3 to 5 years from planting. Talking about that fast fruiting walnut tree. It starts just 3 to 5 years before it starts making walnuts.
Comment.
She said at this age, housework and yard work is foreplay.
Mhm.
I don't know what that means. Do I want to know what that means? I'm innocent. I don't know what all this stuff is. So you take these pieces of cardboard, right? And then you like, it's got it's just wishing you a fun-filled Christmas. Oh, a fun-filled Christmas. Mary got this entire thing, and we're supposed to take these and fill them out, and we're going to send them to people. That's right. We're going to send them to people whose addresses we have. People that maybe have ordered stuff from our website. We have their addresses. Well, maybe sometimes, depending somewhere. Yeah. Oh, look, we got one here. It says gnome for the holidays. Oh, yeah. There's. I thought I had David's address from like last year, but he changed it. I sent him some corn seeds for his land race project next year, and we will see how it turns out. He sent me a little postcard back. It was cute. Now I don't know what I did with it, so I'm gonna put that in a frame somewhere. This is the postcard I got from David the Good. It's on the it's on the postcard. Yeah. I've got it in an email too. I also have it in an email.
It's on the post by the door.
Okay, it's by the door. I'm told. Gnome for the holidays. That's right. There's nothing like gnome for the holidays. That's what it says. I just had to tell anyone who asks that any holiday Stark gift cards. Oh my goodness, you wound me. You know we have gift cards too. Green Country Agroforestry has gift cards. You can go to the website, and they're on the upper right hand corner, right there at the top. You click buy gift card. So if we don't have the trees for sale at the time that you are inclined to depart with the money, that's okay. You can depart with the money now, get the tree later, or something. Speaking of which, I need to make an alteration and go over there to the website and flip our red buds and locust trees from pre-order to now available to order because they're dormant, and we can start shipping them out now. So that will be, I guess, here in the next day or two if I remember to do it. Here. Already girdled a pear tree. Oh my goodness. I hate it when that happens. We have problems with little critters, not mice. I think it's gophers mainly. But for some reason, the little rodents like to chew on the roots of hazelnut trees. Everything else is okay. Hazelnuts, they have to eat the roots, and I don't know why. They have to eat them. As a result, I don't have many hazelnut trees. I've got a few. There's the Yamhill variety is the one that seems to be doing okay here, and maybe it's because the roots don't taste good to gophers. That might be the deciding factor, is the reason why I'm able to keep these, because everything else dies. All the other hazelnuts die on me though. So let's see. Sasser said, "Listen, green ash for being busy." Mary saying, "Nobody there in the right mind would want black locust." Well, it's not entirely true. Black locust is a great tree. It's great for border, for fences, for firewood, for tool wood, for outdoor furniture. It's a great tree for pollinators, especially for bees. I mean, it's the main food for bees whenever the red buds are no longer producing. So it's a great tree, wonderful tree, marvelous tree. Sharp thorns will reach out and cut you, but it's a great tree. Just you have to be aware that there are thorns. They are sharp, and they will get you if you do not respect the capabilities of a black locust tree. Heterodox has got 25 hazelnuts for 2 to 5 years old. They're alive, but not really growing. Yeah, that's kind of the problem we were having with ours. They're there, but they're not really thriving. The Yamhill seem to be doing okay. They make catkins every year. They made catkins again this year, so they're going into winter with little catkins. They do that. They form the catkins as the season comes to a close, and those are the male flowers. Those remain on the tree all the way through the winter, and instantly deer and other animals can come by, and they do browse some of those male flowers during the winter. I'm not sure how good they taste, but they're edible, and they do eat a few of those over the course of the winter. And then spring comes, and those are supposed to open up and spread the pollen to pollinate the female flowers. Now the thing is, I just have not seen any female flowers from our hazelnut trees yet. But they've been here 6 years. This upcoming year will be year number 7. And if we don't see any females, then I am just not going to pursue hazelnuts in Oklahoma any further. I'm sure they grow, but I don't have the space to Burbank, which may be what we have to do is like get a whole bunch and plant a whole bunch and then see what survives, see what produces quickly. This is what Mark Shepard is doing up there with chestnuts in Wisconsin. It's like I haven't really heard a whole lot of people talking about growing hazelnuts in Oklahoma, so it's something that can be done. They will grow in this zone. It's just a question of which varieties will do best. But so far, chinkapin seems to be doing okay. So maybe that's what we'll do instead of hazelnut for our understory nut trees. Grow chinkapin instead. Sarsaparilla saying, "Oh, I need more hazelnut trees." I wouldn't mind having more hazelnut trees myself as long as they were producing. So hopefully year 7 is the charm for our hazelnuts, and we'll see some nuts this year. I would really, really like to see some nuts this year. Just the idea of having a border all the way around your property with hazelnut trees just sounds terrific, given the productivity, right? Somewhere between 10 to 15 pounds of nuts per tree once they get mature. You get about, let's say, about a dozen feet between trees. So you take your property dimensions, divide by 12, plant them, and they have both male and female flowers. The sarsaparilla was asking if they're male or female trees. They have both. Poison ivy. Yeah, we have a new vine for the vine layer. It's called poison ivy. This is for the security hedge. Black locust, that's the canopy. Prickly ash, that's the understory. Goji berry for the shrub layer. For vines, we have poison ivy. You make sure you get your 7 layers and a security fence. You can make sure nobody wants to go through there. Heterodox saying, deer don't bother the hazelnuts, probably still too small. Could be. Are they making catkins? Are they making the male flowers throughout the winter right now, or not? Oh, Mary says that was supposed to be sarcasm. Oh, I couldn't hear your tone of voice. It was in text. No flowers, he says. No flowers. Yeah, so no flowers. So the only reason they want to eat them is if they're coming after the bark. So as long as they're not desperate and hungry, then you're probably going to be okay. Sasbrass is saying most of his are putting out catkins. Well, these have put out catkins every year for at least the past 3 years, but I haven't seen any nuts yet. And I want nuts. I want my hazelnuts. I want my hazelnuts so bad. Oh, yeah. I've got to remember to get out there and get these guys planted. They're starting to get the pecans falling out of the tree, so I need to get around there and gather them and make some effort to make sure that more of them turn into trees than get eaten by squirrels. Sasquatch was asking me, what do I think of Kentucky coffee trees? I have not formed an opinion one way or the other on Kentucky coffee trees. I have never sampled the fruit and have not had any experience with growing the tree itself. So the only thing I know about them is what I'd read about them. And that's really not a great way to form an opinion. I like to read the descriptions in PFAF, in the Plants for the Future database. There's a lot of them that were written by English researchers, and their idea of what is good to eat and what is not good to eat are entirely different from ours. You know, I've seen things that I look at and go, oh my gosh, this is one of the best foods in the world. Why are you giving this a 2 on the edibility scale? This is great. Apparently you didn't get a good one whenever you made your rating or something. But yeah, it's all subjective. I can take a banana and go, okay, I like the flavor, but I don't like the texture. And if I was just going to score a banana on edibility strictly on the texture of the banana, I'd give it a low score. I don't like the texture at all. Now you take it and you slice it and you dehydrate it and it becomes, you know, nice and crispy. And banana chips are great, but the kind of slimy mucilaginous texture of some things just it isn't for me, even though they may be perfectly good, nutritious things. There's other things that some people taste and say, oh, I like it. It has a nice peppery flavor. It reminds me of watercress. Watercress reminds me of watercress. Other things that are supposed to be like watercress not necessarily taste like watercress. Some things that people say taste like watercress taste more like shepherd's purse, which is a little bit different, kind of more bitter. Anyway, I'm trying to read comments and talk at the same time, and it's not working. I'm getting wires crossed in my head. Nasturtiums come to mind. It's something that people say has a nice flavor, but no, didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. Didn't like it one bit. Let me see. Da-da-da. So until I actually have an experience with a particular fruit, I mean, I try to get data on things, watch the Weird Explorer reviews of stuff, but try to go get some fresh and try it out myself. But ultimately, until you do something, until you try something, you're not going to know whether you like it or not. Sometimes somebody's just verbal description of something might make it sound like it's not something that you like, but people are limited by their own experiences whenever they're trying to describe something. My understanding of the color white might be it's the color of mashed potatoes. So whenever I'm describing the coffee, I'd say that this cup is like mashed potatoes. If somebody didn't like mashed potatoes, they go, well, I guess I don't like coffee then, right? Let me see. Joe's asking questions about oak, an English oak, Collimer variety. Not necessarily. I mean, all oak acorns are edible, but not all of them are necessarily easy to process. So yeah, they're edible. I don't know how edible. The most edible varieties of oak are white oak, and some varieties of white oak that develop in a very limited range just to the west of the Great Lakes. Little tiny area where these is the native range for these oaks, but they're all edible to a certain degree. No on the sturgeon. I'm not sure we can be friends. A lot of times my coffee turned into mashed potatoes, right? Well, I mean, descriptions are all subjective, and the thing that somebody thinks is important whenever they're making their decision may not have anything at all, no bearing at all on what would be important to me. It's like, okay, so it's a white cup. It's like mashed potatoes. It's white. But if somebody doesn't go into detail about why this is like mashed potatoes, then somebody says, well, it's like mashed potatoes. You kind of get the wrong impression. So it helps to have like a whole bunch of different opinions from people that have done something, experienced something, and then formed an opinion. If you're going to get your opinion secondhand, try to get a whole bunch of different weigh-ins and input. And even so, it's still not a good substitute for firsthand experience. So the question is, should you try going and ordering pawpaws from an online nursery so you can plant them in your food forest, not knowing exactly what a pawpaw is supposed to taste like and not knowing what you're going to wind up getting at the end of the time that it takes for it to grow from sapling to maturity? I mean, I do stuff like that. I do. And the reason I do is because I figure at the end of the day, it's going to be good for somebody. Maybe it's not my cup of tea. Maybe it's not a tree that I want. Maybe it's, or, it's not going to produce fruit that I want. Maybe. Or maybe it's going to be the most delicious thing. I'm going to love it. I'm going to just eat them all up every time that they appear. And it's going to be the greatest things to slice bread. I don't know. But one thing I do know is whenever I add more diversity to the garden, I add different things. I create habitat and food for more species of animals and other plants. And having that diversity of life is always helpful in strengthening the garden. So maybe it's not something for me. Maybe it's something for a neighbor or a friend or someone else. Maybe it's something that I grow to sell. I don't know. But every time we add diversity, it does, every time, it does nothing but increase the strength and resilience of your garden system. Anyhow, guys, it is late. I don't know why I was able to stay up so late. I was about to nod off earlier, but Mary insisted that I get on and do a live stream. So I'm out of coffee. I'm tired. It's cold. I'm gonna crawl back in bed. And if weather permits us, we'll get some videos shot here in the next week or so on doing some midwinter gardening chores, topping off beds with OM and stuff like that. Maybe we'll take a camera by and have a look at the winter wheat and see how it's doing. Yeah, we have spots in our garden that are really, really green right now. We'll bring the camera by and have a look at maybe some of the radishes that we have growing, the radishes that have been growing, and some of the radishes that are still growing. Capture some of the peas that are growing up the fence with the pea flowers and pods that are on there right now. Yeah, mid-December, we have peas growing. It's crazy. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining us tonight. I hope you found the video informative or entertaining. I'm sorry I haven't put out a whole lot of material, but as I said, it is winter. And I don't have a lot of new stuff to just show you for right now, but more coming up in the future. Anyway, I will catch you next time. But until then, get out there and get growing. Good night, everybody.
Make sure you dress warmly on Friday.
Why? What's happening on Friday?
Temperatures are going to be mid 30s to low 40s.
Oh, well, okay. So it's not going to be freezing on Friday. Sweater weather.
It's going to be dropping for the
Mm.
next few days.
All right. I guess that means I have to go and make sure that we go out there and pack in some extra firewood. Good night, everybody. I'll catch you next time.